sure all that is off.
You'll get a feel for it if you break one. They're kind of fun.
Picture of it for you. They look pretty good, I think.
I've taken some pink chocolate and I've drizzled some white over the top. It's going to drizzle some white over the top, and then I'm going to dip my pretzel, and you're going to get a marbly kind of a finish. So you just sort of dip right on top of the, just tilt it a little bit, turn it around in there, and you'll have a little bit of a marbly color. And just keep doing that until your chocolate kind of disappears, so your white chocolate disappears, and then you can add some more. It just gives your pretzels, your colored pretzels, a little bit more texture. There's some white there, so I'm going to go ahead and just tilt it. And then you see you'll get a little bit of white in there. Also, if you let the chocolate flow down like that and you give it a twist, you'll have a little line there on your pretzel. A little bit of a decoration of more texture there. Now I could have put some strawberry flavoring in here, but I didn't because the person who wants these pretzels did not ask me. See, I've got a little curtain there, and if you just give it a little twist, that will stay there on your decoration, on your pretzel, and it will be a little decoration. When I decorate the pink ones, I'm going to put white on, a white drizzle on first. Then I'm going to put the pink on top. I think it will help it to show up better that way. Whereas on the white pretzels, I'm going to do it backwards. I'm going to do the pink first and then the white. And here I'm going to use a bag because the type of decoration that she really does want calls for it to be very even. So I'm just going to go back and forth like this. So on the white ones, we're going to go ahead and put the pink line on first. I'm not sure how well you could see. You can see this little teeny pacifier. I've tied a bow on the pretzel. See, there's the pretzel. And then I've tied a piece of raffia on with the bow, and I've stuck the little pacifier on the top. I'm going to show you how I got the pacifier on there in the bow. This is my raffia. Now I had the white pretzel with the brown chocolate, a little bit of brown, a little bit of pink. I used pink raffia. It's very hard to tell because it's very light pink, but this is white because I'm going to use the white on the pretzels that are pink. Now the way to determine how really big you want a bow, and you sort of can do this a little bit if you want to start, but sometimes you can just try a couple of lengths and then just go with that one. But when I'm doing a bow, I'll just say, well, I need a tail and I need a bow. And then I go around the bow. I'm going to go around a couple of times, and then I need another tail. Okay, so this is a nice little length here. It's about 10 inches. The way to get a whole bunch of those, I'll show you a little trick. Unwind some ribbon, and then put the long ribbon with the short one, and run your fingers to the end, and then hold down the end, and then bend that down, and go to the other end, bend that down, and just keep going. I need quite a few, so you can do this as many times as your hand will allow, but hold very tight. Okay, so I'm just going to cut these. I'll do one more since I have it unraveled. Okay, so then go ahead and always hold it very tight with your fingers, and then just cut that off. If you have a whole bunch of them, you can literally just cut a teeny bit off the whole end of all of the bows, of all the loops, and then go to the other end and do the same thing. But if you do that, put this down sort of on top of a garbage can, and then just go ahead and just cut off the whole length, trying to show you. If you cut that whole thing off like that, it'll open up every loop, because that's what you want to do. You want to open up your loops. Hold it tight, and then find the loops on this side. Always take a look, shake it to see if all the loops are done, and now you've got a lot of things the same length. We have these little tiny pacifiers. So you're going to loop it. This is the part you're going to loop through the ribbon. So I'll show you how I do that. Always be careful with your pretzels, because if they fall, they will break. I can guarantee it. I'm not a gambling person, but I can guarantee that if you drop that pretzel, it will break. I would bet on that. 100% of the time. So just tie that right below the seal and above the pretzel. You can thread your pacifier on either side and then tie it down again. Give it a little tie down, and you can either put the bow, you can put the pacifier above it, or you can above the bow, or you can put it below the bow. I don't really know what's best for these pretzels. Probably above it, because the pretzel is pink. See it better. Or you could put it below, because then it would look like it's hanging off of the bow. You know, one thing I never do is go backwards. So if I put it above, it's going to stay there, because nobody's really ever noticed these things but me. So if you put it below, so you do that one at that next tie, because that's what's going to hold it on there. I like it below. Looks like it's hanging. By the time I do 50 of them, I get it right. So hang it below. Tie it on again, and then tie the bow down. They're so pretty.